Hey there, party people, you know what time it is. It's time to give a full review of the 100 Girlfriends anime. At least the first part of it. I wanted to wait until the dub of the anime was completed before posting this so that I could give a complete overlook while we wait for the second core to start. So push aside your cheap rentals and poor imitations because we are talking about the GOAT of harem anime. If the title has girlfriend in it, it ain't shit unless it got 100 in it too. Today is the day for waking up and choosing violence. Now, I have already made a review of the first episode and a tiny one for the second episode. And I've already spoken about all these plotlines in my reviews for the manga volumes. But be that as it may, I will be covering most things in this video as if it was the first time, so that it remains whole and cohesive. And we start with our lead making the very first confession of the series, only to get utterly eviscerated.
The idea of dating you makes me want to puke my guts out. I'm so sorry!
Look at the butterflies I was going for!
Rentaro Aijo is a boy that is filled with love. Way too much love. Boy has been searching for romance since he could first produce what could be considered cognitive thought. And yet, despite being an above average and genuinely good, wholesome guy, he's been rejected 100 times before entering high school. But in high school, everything changes as the god of love comes down and tells him that not only soulmates are a real phenomena, but that our boy Rentaro has 100 of them due to a clerical error. And honestly, can you really blame the guy? He was watching Castle in the Sky for the first time. Of course he got distracted. But this, and the Tokyo Ghoul reference, is the beginning of a long-running series of pop culture references. There are so many, and if you do not like that kind of humor, well, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Anyway, Rentaro has 100 soulmates, and with a zing and a boom, he meets the first two immediately. This is Hahari Hanazono and Karane Inda. Hahari is the type that puts on the airs of being an innocent maiden, but is actually a depraved, horny deviant, and we love her for it. Meanwhile, Karane is tsundere supreme.
It felt like I twisted my ankle just for a chance to lean on your shoulder or anything, okay?
What the heck?
It is definitely one hell of a way to start off high school, having two girls on the opposite end of the physical and mental spectrum confess their love to you. And you love both of them equally because you are an absolute Chad. And it is here that I want to bring up the dub, because I feel like Karane's voice is going to be a sticking point for some people. Personally, I love it so much. Ariel Graham brings such a high-tier gremlin energy, which gives an interesting mix to the tsundere and straight man routine that she has. Plus, it is the perfect tone for her various freakouts.
It's not like I actually care about this stupid trigger or anything, okay?
Mixed signals?
Rentaro and Hakari's voices are great as they are. Pretty much most of the voice actors in this series are pretty good. I don't really have any notes for them. Really, my only complaint is that the Love God wasn't voiced by Chris Sabat, and that Ian Sinclair isn't the narrator all the time. I mean, he pops up later, so that's great, but it should have been always. Anyway, by the end of the first episode, Rentaro finds out that if he rejects any of the girls, the karmic backlash of not being with your soulmate will kill them. And so he resolves to date both Hahari and Karane at the same time, even going so far as to find two special four-leaf clovers that are tied to a school urban legend involving eternal love. And thus, the harem begins. What I like about the whole "the girls will die" thing is that it's very rarely ever brought up again. It really only functions as the kicking off reason for Rentaro to start dating both girls at the same time. But it is not the reason for loving and pursuing them. He genuinely loves each girl with all of his heart, and time again, he proves that, which is more than I can say about other harem protagonists. But this is best exemplified with the introduction to Shizuka. And yes, I am skipping over the first kiss episode. To keep this video running smoothly, I have decided to mostly focus on the new girlfriends episodes so that the runtime doesn't get out of control and gives you guys the opportunity to experience the episodes that I don't talk about for yourself. But if you do like hearing me cover 100 Girlfriends content, you can always subscribe to the channel and like this video. I have tons of content already, and I'm going to have more. That aside, Shizuka is my favorite as of right now. She is so gosh darn cute and adorable, and I can't handle it. Must protect her at all costs and buy a plushie. Make more plushies, damn you! For the character, Shizuka is a little bookworm with crippling social anxiety that stops her from speaking. In order to communicate, she uses her favorite book, Love Circlets, and just points to the passages that convey what she wants to convey. Rentaro meets her in the library as she is a librarian and gets that bada zing action. The two get close over their interests in books, with Shizuka lending Rentaro the first volume of Love Circlet, which I do want to note that I do love how the anime animated the scenes from the book. I like that touch. But noticing her struggles to communicate, Rentaro wants to help. He understands that he can't just make Shizuka talk. It has to be something that she is comfortable with. So he spends several long nights manually typing Love Circlet into a text-to-speech app so that Shizuka can have an easier time communicating with people. Not only is that an amazing and respectful gesture to help someone, Rentaro didn't even do this to court Shizuka. Being a romantic partner was a desire, yes, but it was not the reason. It was just kindness. Rentaro is such a kind and loving person. His love is by no means transactional. He goes above and beyond to show love, not just to prove it, and there is a big difference between the two. Getting the clovers was proving love. Doing this is showing love. It's a subtle difference, but the difference is there. When you truly love someone, you will move heaven and earth, not just because you want to show off, not because you have anything to prove, but because you know it will make the person you love happy, or that it will help them, or most likely both. Shizuka's own mother berates and scolds her for her condition, but here's Rentaro, a person she barely knew, being so unconditionally loving and kind, for no other reason than that's just who he is. And it makes me cry every time, and you have it animated and voice acted so amazingly well, it just hits so hard.
I love you.
Have fate's walls separate us? We need only to break them down! Let's go forth together! Shizuka!
And also, it's not just Rentaro who cares, which is what really elevates this beyond any other harem series. Despite not being very on board with the idea initially, Karane confronts Shizuka because she is concerned for her, though obviously done in a very tsundere fashion. But it is a point to show that this isn't really a competition for them. Sure, there is bickering and fighting, but ultimately, at this point, especially Hahari and Karane, they know that Rentaro truly loves them all equally, and Karane doesn't want Shizuka to hold back or be scared of being the new girl. It definitely builds the groundwork that this is less of a harem and more of a genuine polycule, which does go into full force later. Also, to break up the seriousness a bit, because I do have a problem of only talking about the serious parts of a comedy series in my breakdowns and reviews, this is how Shizuka laughs, and I find it to be the most perfect thing ever.
She gave a hearty laugh. Is that her version of loving this? The quietest tickle torture ever recorded.
And now, immediately back to the serious parts, because we are talking about Nano AI, and I still can't believe that Rikito Nakamura gave her that name. She is top of the class for the first years, efficient as an automaton, and a cool beauty. She of course gets the zing with Rentaro, but has nothing but contempt for the idea of it. Love cannot bring about wealth or power. It has no metric of quantifiable value, and therefore, it is worthless to her. Rentaro rightly calls bullshit on that when she attempts to reject him. So he tells her that he will prove that there is worth to love by taking her on a date to an amusement park. And sure enough, they go and have a good time, and Nano's complete, deadpan, and clinical approach to everything is so fun and I love it.
Look closer. That's a living human. Human. They're all human. What exactly is so startling?
They jump scared the breakfast out of me! Who wouldn't be freaked?
Human.
Nothing to see here, kiddos. Bunny is real and dreams come true.
Kuderes for life. And during the whole event, Rentaro has been taking pictures with a Polaroid camera. And at the end of the date, Nano does say that she had fun, but she gained nothing of value from this. And Rentaro, seemingly to not push the issue, says that since there is nothing of value, they shouldn't keep the pictures. As he starts to burn them, Nano thinks back on the date, and in fear of losing the only physical proof that the day had happened, snatches the pictures as they start to burn. This was all part of Rentaro's plan. He proved to Nano that today, she had gained something. Something that, while she was unable to put a number to it, was so absolutely important to her that she was terrified to lose it. And this is another level of what makes Rentaro so great, honestly. He's not afraid to give tough love, because what he did was pretty harsh, but it was definitely the only way that was going to get through to Nano. And it is an important thing to do sometimes when done correctly, and Rentaro only uses such tactics when he feels that it's absolutely necessary. And now Nano's part of the Rentaro family and everyone goes on a pool date. Like I said before, I won't be focusing on the non-introduction episodes too much, but I just want to say, yes! Also, it's where Ian Sinclair narrates. I don't know why, but he does, and I appreciate it. And for those who are confused about who he is, he's the narrator in Kaguya-sama Love is War and How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. Give me a second season of Dumbbells, or I will find you and show you. Ahem. Sorry about that. Let's talk about Kusuri now. Here is where even the most staunch dub hater has to give the dub the win, because in the official translations of the manga and subbed anime, Kusuri is translated to be saying I, or A. But we fans know that she says yep yep, and what does the dub do?
I am Kim Club member Kusuri Yakuzin. Yep, yep. I got some tea. Yep, yep. 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 Yep, yep.
Yep, yep. Yep, yep. Yep, yep.
Yep yep wins, baby! Thank you, dubbing team! But yes, outside that, Kusuri is a very enjoyable character. She and Rentaro have a drive-by zing, but Rentaro doesn't recognize her when they meet because Kusuri has two forms, yep. One is her big form, which is the one that Rentaro saw first, reflecting her true 18-year-old self. And then she has her most common little form, reflecting herself as a child, which came about when she messed up an immortality drug. Because alchemy and potions apparently exist in this universe and are disguising themselves as normal chemistry. Granted, gods and demons are real, so I probably shouldn't be questioning that too much. Kusuri herself is a fun character, only hampered by one too many pee jokes. I'm sorry, I just have never been a fan of toilet humor, even as a child, surprisingly. And that's really just not going to change just because it's in a series that I like. Although she does make a good first impression with the other girls, with cuteness, sexy,
If you whip it out all at once, it ruins the mistake!
and interesting results. But more importantly, Kusuri's introduction leads into one of my favorite arcs, Resident Hazard, or Kissing Zombies. And let me tell you, the anime knocked it out of the park. From scenes that I wanted to see animated the most, to new references and gags.
Kissy.
Also, I have no idea what reference this end credits scene is. I mean, it could just be an end credits gag without referencing anything specific, but I feel like it is. I thought Resident Evil or Silent Hill at first, but I couldn't find anything that matched the tone or the VHS glitching. If you happen to know, please tell me in the comments below. It's really bothering me. That aside, the most important thing that this arc does is definitively prove that this is a polycule more than just a harem. The drug that makes the kissing zombies specifically gives the ladies an uncontrollable urge to kiss the object of their desires, which is why they're chasing down Rentaro. However, when pinned by Hahari and Karane, he is able to get the two to kiss each other, which works, thus showing that the two see each other as lovers on some level, and then they need the jaws of life to pry them apart later. The girls are all put back to normal after Kusuri can get a batch of drug-reversing drug made, and is properly inducted into the family, which is about to meet its first hurdle of the series in the final arc of this part of the anime, which may not have an official name, so I will just call it Mission Improbable. At Hahari's suggestion, the Rentaro family all head to a garden where they're having a bouquet toss. Whoever catches the bouquet gets to have a picture taken in a wedding dress adorned in the garden's flowers alongside their partner. The family works together to get the bouquet, facing tough competition with hills and valleys, and drawing lots to see who will get to wear the dress. Hahari, despite her machinations hitting a bump in the road, gets to wear the dress, and after a group photo, asks Rentaro for one simple request.
I must ask you to break up with me.
You see, Hahari's mother Hahari found out about the polycule and is obviously not happy about it, so she's sending Hahari away to never see Rentaro again. Now, this part is a nitpick for me, but I really wish Hahari asking that was at the end of an episode as a cliffhanger. It would have been so much more of a punch to have to wait a week to figure out what the hell was happening for anime viewers. And I say this is a nitpick rather than an actual complaint because of the pacing of the rest of the series thus far. Yes, there have been changes between the manga and the anime, but nothing so large that would have pushed the breakup scene to the end of an episode without adding or taking away a lot of content. Which, yeah, technically could have been done, but I don't think should have been done. So ultimately, it is what it is. The rest of the Rentaro family resolves to bust Hahari out and basically elope. Rentaro first thought to do it alone, but of course no one else was having that. Karane, Shizuka, Nano, and Kusuri all love Hahari too, so they're going to help bust out their girl as a team. Working together, pushing themselves to the limit, giving personal sacrifice and a Lord of the Rings reference,
Fly, you fools!
Rentaro and Karane get to encounter the final boss, Hahari Hanazono, and get some backstory. At the age of 13, Hahari was in love with a terminally ill boy. When he passed away, she made the decision to get artificially inseminated with his child. And I want to make it abundantly clear, this is not something the manga or the anime condones. While she does love her daughter more than anything, Hahari does let it be known that she is appalled that she did something so ridiculously stupid. Young love is a painful thing, and it will always make you do stupid things. But for the love of God, do not see Hahari as an example to follow. But it is also because of this choice she made that Hahari is so strict with Hahari. She sees way too much of herself in the girl, and is afraid of her daughter being the same fool that she was, even if it means she herself is hated for it. This sad story, of course, gets to the hopeless romantic Rentaro, and his tears wash out the infrared-seeing drug he had in his eyes, allowing him to make eye contact with Hahari for the first time. And you and I both know this song, so let's dance!
Rentaro, baby! End this madness and just go out with me!
After briefly losing composure and subjecting Rentaro and Karane to an omniscient chair, things are interrupted when the three of them are told that Hahari is about to... How to word this in a way that doesn't sound silly, but won't make the algorithm eat me alive. Hahari is about to defenestrate herself. With Karane holding Hahari back, Rentaro is able to rush ahead and talk Hahari down, although doing that causes her to also come down from her adrenaline high, leading to Rentaro having to catch her, and they both take the fall. And in a bout of pure determination, Rentaro is able to kick off the wall mid-descent so that he pushes them both forward and can fall into the deepest fountain money can buy. The day is saved. Hahari finally believes Rentaro does love Hahari and the others with all his being, and Rentaro says he loves Hahari too, leading to an absolute banger of a special ends credit sequence. The next two episodes wrap up the first part of the season with a big sleepover at the Hanazono mansion. And a cliffhanger happens that makes me entirely okay with the fact that I didn't get the breakup cliffhanger.
I am sorry. But I cannot hold back.
Wait, what are you saying?
Come with me to my bedroom.
I won't go into depth with these two episodes. Like I said before, you should really check them out for yourself and experience the comedy gold and heartfelt moments. I will just highlight my favorite moments, such as Cuties in Pajamas, the gang tries to peep on Rentaro, Prince Nano, comforting Hahari, and this. This is peak character. And so we end the first core with Hahari literally buying the school so that she can spend time with the Rentaro family in a way that makes sense. And we get a sneak peek at the 5 girlfriends we'll be meeting when the anime returns. Though, given the fact that we got a quote-unquote secret 6th girlfriend here, we could potentially end Season 1 with Chio. And boy oh boy, that is going to be a trip if that happens. Twitter, currently known as X, will have an absolute field day with that one. But that is a problem for us in the future. This anime is amazing, peak even. This is what every harem anime should shoot for. Actually, not just harem anime, all rom-coms. This is the level of quality that Kaguya-sama Love is War has too, and Am I in Love with the Villainess? And I'm not talking about the wacky comedy either, I am talking about the heart. 100 Girlfriends, for all of its outlandish comedy and pop culture references, is so incredibly genuine. And a lot of that has to do with Rentaro. Time and time again, he lets his actions speak louder than his words. So many anime have these protagonists that are either genuinely good guys or are asshats that act like they're good guys, but a lot of the time either way, they're mostly talk. There is not enough showing with their love. And Rentaro isn't the first to be like this, of course. I will always think of Darling-kun from Monster Musume as being like that too. But I do think it's important to have more protagonists like this. While no human person can do the outlandish things these romantic leads can pull off, putting your money where your mouth is, and not just speaking platitudes, is a lesson that needs to be taught and a hard one to learn. I know I have a hard time doing it myself, even though I very much believe in actions over words. If I could be a quarter of the man Rentaro is, I believe I would be able to call myself a good person. Any series that can have me laughing at its jokes or absurdity and then make me tear up with its sincerity without having it feel jarring is an amazing series. Rikito Nakamura is an amazing writer, and I think that any aspiring writer can learn so much from them. Humor and seriousness are a part of life, and while 100 Girlfriends is more of an absurdist take on the former, it is important to know how to mix the two in a way that feels natural, and when best to implement either into a story. Most of the time, it is done more subtly, but being able to do it with such extremes, that's a skill to admire. And with that, what do you think of the first part of the 100 Girlfriends anime? If you haven't watched it for yourself, go watch it now. Check out the episodes I didn't cover. They are all well worth it. And read the manga too. Consume media. Embrace it. I, for one, cannot wait for the anime's return and for the next volume to come out. And if you want to see me talk about more 100 Girlfriends stuff, or anime in general, be sure to subscribe. I even have a video about my 100 Girlfriends OC, linked at the end of the video and in the description. Apparently, I ripped off her introduction wholesale from a different girlfriend who I haven't gotten to yet in the manga. Funny how things happen, ain't it? Anyway, with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time in the void. Later.